hundreds of Heroscape miniatures, 30 years incurable illness, 300,000 plus stop motion photos, over half a dozen homes, living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms, closets, thousands of miles, 3 major surgeries, 100 plus sleepless nights, 1 baby along the way, now he's 5 years old, 3 seasons, 2 canon T3 eyes, 1 great story, 1 dream, 1 struggle, 1 victory. Welcome to ToV Live! It is Valhalla time. And it is the time in which we watch the last episode of Season 3, Episode 10, entitled The Limits of Power. How are you doing tonight, Sean?
I'm always better than I deserve. How you doing?
I think you're kind of tired, too, for driving in a sardine can of a car.
Oh, yeah. Started at 4 this morning, man. I'm telling you. It's just, it's kind of like watching a fat guy in a clown car.
How are you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm well and very excited.
And boy, we got a cliffhanger for you.
Yeah!
A lot of things get resolved.
Yeah.
The only thing that really isn't resolved is what needs to lead into Season 4. So, yeah.
Right. Very satisfying. Very satisfying.
Yeah.
Like the character arc of the 2 Roman soldiers for obvious reasons.
Gear and Light Folly, yep. It's a nice little
And
ending.
we got the right shirt on for that tonight.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy, for coming on the stream tonight. I know he's a busy guy between working and moving and managing his own content. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here tonight. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. Hyped, excited. Lots of stuff.
Ready to go, huh? Well, how about, because this is a 32-minute episode. We're just toasting this, and we'll probably do a few toasts tonight, but toast to the best Heroscape series ever.
It is good. Nastarovia.
The only Heroscape series.
We'll get to that later. But no, very, very happy to be here finally. I've been dreaming of this night for literally years, so I'm just so thankful it's here. All right, how about we get started? Okay, here is the conclusion to pretty much everything that has been building up for seasons 1, seasons 2, and season 3 for Tales of Valhalla.
Or is it?
Or is it?
I love no matter what, you can look at these models and you can always see like hair coming off of one of them. It's like you can never get it off.
Yeah, it's it's so hard. Sometimes I would take an air blaster, but with cats in the house and just all these.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hairs just everywhere.
But there is something special about that. Like to me, like when you watch a show
This
like
is
that.
a home studio.
Yeah.
It's so darn difficult. I mean, and there are times where actually I kind of like was able to tweak it to where I could like kind of not mask a hair out, but make it look like it's kind of blending in with everything. I've done those shots where it's very noticeable that it's a hair. It's actually like natural.
This was such a cool fight.
I like this Sergeant Drake's moment right here.
Yeah.
The Sergeant Drake switch was cool.
I wasn't expecting him to be on top of Usaga.
I feel like that's like in a story setting, that's the only way to kill a snake like that is to jump up top.
Yeah.
Perfect power fantasy. I love it.
I love how this is my first time actually trying to like do multiple scenes at once, and so I mean you're going back and forth between chases, battles, conversations. I hope it all blends well. It's my first.
I think personally,
No, the editing's really good.
Yeah.
It's very Star Wars-ish in that aspect.
Yeah.
Where you've got like 3 battles and you're keeping track of what's happening here, here, and here. All at the same time.
There really is multiple battles in it because I mean you first have like our main group of heroes fighting Morrow. Then you have Evar and Kelda fighting the Ice Elemental. Then you have the Monty Python reference right here with
Yeah, that was. I caught that one. That was.
Um,
I'm glad I caught that one.
and so you have like arrows against Morrow. on Light Folly and Silveras' side. Then you have also Geert's fight against the Morrow when we do Jason's classic swear word fudge monkeys. We were able to get that in the series. We also have the Zute against the Morrow, then Zute against the Ice Elemental, and then the really primary specific one is Lieutenant Dan versus Kurok. And that's a pivotal one because that's basically them rematching from very early in season 2 when Kurok basically owned him. If it wasn't for the fact that Epix survived because of the Air Elemental, and Kurok, I mean, throughout season 2, you had Lieutenant Dan kind of being not himself over that encounter. So he's had to build himself up since then. I mean, he's still classic Lieutenant Dan, but you don't know how he's going to face off with Kurok, at the end here. So
Right.
it's kind of like what's the word?
I was watching
Redeeming himself, really,
There's no time. Let's go. Don't you worry, Henderson.
Now, the concept of Kurok destroying himself, what do you guys think of that?
I thought there was gonna be more because I saw that big open like ocean of like water, and I thought he was gonna summon a wave, and it would like freeze or something, or like crash onto him. Like something was gonna happen after he froze himself. Like, oh, there's no way that's it. There's no way that's it. I want more.
Yeah. No,
So like, but then I was thinking, oh wait, this is just like probably the easiest way for him to feel like finishing this fight essentially, without having just another battle.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it works. It functionally works. But
I really like it. And I mean, I have to agree. I'm expecting something more elaborate to happen. And it's like, when it's so simple to the solution, it's like, why didn't I think about that?
yeah, because I was almost thinking too. It's like, oh my god, is he gonna just grow so big and then explode, or like was he gonna like go into the ice elemental and then the ice elemental was gonna get big and like I don't know. It was like I had a bunch of ideas. I didn't know what Ryan was capable
The
of.
meaning of life.
I mean, I think the only person who really knew besides me was Jason, because Jason's the one who designed that case of ice. He 3D printed it for me. You could actually see the Kurok through it. Yeah.
Interesting. 'cause
I didn't know exactly how he ended up in it, though. I just knew that he ended up in it, but that's about all what led to that, I had no idea.
Are these little rocks spread around? Are those high ground? Or are those just like something else?
That's high ground, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
there's the high
actually
ground
supposed to be
tiles.
printed as like gray rocks or something, but I thought this would be good snowballs. And so
Yeah,
I
they're
printed
just-
them as white.
Yeah, because they're not attached to the tile. They look like they're just placed there, and it looks
Just
good.
sticky tacked on. Yeah, just
Yeah.
sticky tacked on.
What are those things?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know where high ground tiles begins or the regular Heroscape terrain ends, or it's all so integrated so well.
Yeah. Mm.
And there's your introduction to Chedwick there.
You mess with the voice so much, you would never know. That could be anybody.
Right.
Like
But-
you don't know it's
but
Ben because
If
Ben has
it
such a
wasn't
deep
Ben's voice, if it wasn't Ben's voice, it wouldn't have worked though.
Really? It would have
I
made
mean-
made it too high of a voice.
Yeah, just his
Interesting.
voice. It just did it.
Hmm.
'Cause he still has that. It still carries that kind of like that
That
grainy
weight.
sound that he has in his
Yeah.
voice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This crazy guy. Thank you. Ninja lady?
How do you like this conversation, Joe?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, you were
Performing
talking
together,
before
yeah.
when my other line came up. I didn't know when that line was gonna come up, and I was watching it. And I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? And I'm like, and then I said it. I was like, oh my god, I called it. I didn't even know.
Amazing. That's great.
Silvaris is so anti-Legolas, it should make Legolas himself cringe. Then this goes into another part of the lore that me and Jeremy talked about in the past, to where Silvaris in the actual Heroscape lore wants to go after enemies. He doesn't want to stay in the background and just shoot arrows. He wants to go in the battle and fight, but he needs to stay back. So I kind of like portray that in him a little bit as well.
Yeah,
Anybody who knows
arrogance
Heroscape lore is going to recognize
was what
that.
was going to kill him.
But they cannot resist.
Then let's start guiding this.
I like the Zute ramming into them, you know, kind of breaking up the conversation. That was a nice touch.
Right.
No, like the pacing's like this episode's really good. Like the pacing of it is like really.
It has to
solid.
be, otherwise it would have been longer. And I just like I gotta cut the fat as much as possible. And then this is the moment. This rivalry started in season 2. Karak owned Lieutenant Dan, and Lieutenant Dan was just going through like so much mental conflict, you know, throughout season 2.
Right.
And so this is him facing, in essence, his fears, knowing that he can't win. And this is an interesting fact of ToV lore. One of the reasons that picked Karak so much after, I mean, even though he healed himself, his eye keeps on hurting and stinging from that gunshot from Lieutenant Dan. Even encased in ice, he can still feel the sting. It's not mentioned in the story, but
What was
that
this
is part of the
move?
lore.
Did he just
Isn't that
flip
awesome?
back? I was.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I was so
Dude,
thrown by
soccer
that.
players do it all the time. Soccer players do it all the time. It's totally valid.
That's a special move.
I was not expecting him to just flip upside down and.
Dude, that was.
Wanted to do something unexpected. Yeah. But this is the only reason why the plan worked, is because Lieutenant Dan ticked him off enough to where he couldn't control his anger, and he tried to draw in way too much power. So it all fits in together as possible.
Emotions are the all downfalls. All of us.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, dude, he's got to do something with that. How do you introduce that amongst your water and it's ice and you don't do it? It's like putting the gun on
along
the
the
wall.
shores of the continent, you know.
I guess,
So-
yeah.
It's just a good background. I just, aesthetics basically.
No, I mean
Wanted
it's great.
something different.
It's so interesting to look at. But then you had the greater ice elemental like on like the water tiles too, and like things started connecting. Like, oh shoot, like is it gonna get really big from all the water and then like get so much power and like?
I mean,
Which
the power
kind? I
comes
guess
from
it
the ice
kind of
elemental
does,
itself.
because he freezes himself. But
And all
Right.
that power is coming from the ice elemental. And you see the significance now of Karak's, that symbol on Karak's chest. It finally comes alive
right.
there. Different type of sound, but it's drawing all power. So this is his destiny fulfilled, but he's just too quickly.
Everyone hit the deck.
Shield yourselves.
I like this at the end. I had this actually written before almost everything else. This ending argument where Lieutenant Dan is just like speaking and lecturing everybody, and all this chaos is happening behind him. Giving Toothpick a lecture right before they die. You know?
Oh yeah, and then he talks about the clown outfit. I was literally hoping that you had painted one of them with a clown outfit.
Like a clown outfit.
Like, I
Yeah.
want the
That
Peter
time.
Griffin, like, see, the trick is, they're looking for army guys. And then he's, like, walking into the forest with in a clown outfit.
I just leave that up to people's imagination.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot. We left 2 very dependable soldiers behind to ensure that the ritual temple and
Here's the moment.
were guarded.
I love it.
Here we go again, guarding another piece of wall in the middle of nowhere. We are freezing to death.
At least this time,
Hey, Corey.
we were given a
Hello.
small shelter to rest in.
I think you sound okay.
Snowstorm.
We don't
Okay.
even belong to
Yeah.
Jan.
You just sound a little low, but I mean, I think you can. Your levels
I
are
was,
just fine.
I was worried about it earlier because
Just in
I kept
case
hearing a ringing in my left side.
There's nothing that we hear, so you're good.
Okay, cool.
We're not wearing the right clothes for this climate. Of course we will be cold.
And we have some more companions.
Here, where are we at
Those
here?
big apes.
We got
are
6
they
minutes
shoving
left.
a
So, Corey, what are you thinking so far?
Oh,
It's
calm
fun.
down, Geert.
Yeah.
A lot of action pack.
Did help
Uh-huh.
save the world.
Ha! Let's the world needs saving, they can count us out.
Oh, now I hear Jason.
Geraint and Light Folly will be very happy guarding that area.
Took you the whole series to figure out that's my
I didn't-
voice there.
You know what? The inflection of how you phrased it, it sounded like you. Okay.
Then we introduce Chadwick and Sven. I mean, we saw a little bit of Chadwick earlier in the episode, but you got Sven quoting poetry, which he does in his comics. Oh, this is an original poem that I wrote.
It's very Sven-y. Sven aesthetic.
Here, everything looks good on my end.
The cliffhanger
Yeah.
continues.
Yeah, oh, the mic's not on yet. Hold on.
Oh, well.
All right, now the mic's on.
As I was saying, and the cliffhanger continues.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Well, most things were, most of those plots were sealed, but you gotta have something. You gotta have something. Those wall spires are definitely going to be revisited and going to have a central part, at least in season 4, if we ever get that far. Okay, this is a moment. This is the Sergeant Drake Alexander's moment right here. This was a fun one too. Actually, I shot this in like half a dozen to a dozen shot ways. So I threw out like 75% of the shots and just did the best ones that I thought for that moment.
This would be a good time to start ripping through the mother jokes that we had to do as a takeout.
Nope, this is still a kid-friendly show. I'm sorry. Those are going to be under lock and key. Unless someone wants to pay me, then, that's fine. I can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, literally, guys.
Hey, they got
ripped through probably about an
content.
hour of just mother jokes.
You can do
Some people
content
are
classifications now. You can mark streams as mature
Oh,
now.
hey,
Yeah.
we can release that on fans only.
Only fans?
Only fans, yeah.
Well, look. Eventually, we'll have. I plan to do some type of. It's not GoFundMe. What is it?
Kickstarter?
Patreon?
Patreon, right?
Patreon, Subscribe Star.
Yeah, so something
There's
like that.
17 of them now.
Patreon like type thing. If it's not Patreon, it's going to be something else eventually.
So if you guys want to hear me mumbling and muttering nonsense for quite some time, yeah, just leave a comment behind and see if we can't get that set up so we can go through the blooper reel for everybody.
Here's Corey back, Henderson, and other characters back from the dead. Because I actually had someone ask me like months before if people were gonna die or not in the series, and I'm just like, I can't really answer that. Yes and no, but I can't
Character
really
death
answer
is a hard
that.
thing to write. It's always like I've always when you engage with like franchises and stuff like that, character death needs to be done a very specific way,
Right.
and like it can't be shock value. It can't be a shock value death. You can't just kill someone because you want people to be like, you
Right,
got to have
right.
a reason for it, and it's just. I'm never envious of a developer or producer that has to make that decision. Good luck. I mean, anyone that has to write that.
As long
part,
as it
'cause always
further
gets
drives the
complicated.
story, and
Right,
sets things up to
exactly.
come, because sometimes you need to have like your heroes broken, in order to build themselves back up, and learn whoever remains behind. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen in the future. It probably will, and some of you guys already know because I've already told you some things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not me because I don't want to know.
See, it makes me wonder. So, if you could talk to your past self right now, Ryan, what would you say?
When I
you're
just got
done now,
started
right?
with
But,
this?
like, yeah, if you were just like, you got to somehow figure out Valkyrie magic, and you got a way to go to the past and tell yourself about
Right.
today.
Use hit film right away for everything. 'Cause I used something for
good.
season 1 called iKit Movie,
Right.
and so everything is kind of like not smooth, And so after finishing season 1, I realized I could do everything in hit film and just not with iKit Movie. Then hit film, just plain hit film, because everything you could throw all the photos in hit film and it'll just bring it out like very crisp. So that's one thing. Use hit film right away. Second is, like I said, do close-ups in your scenes. Even if you got to do things, over and over again, the lines over and over again. Close-ups are your friend. But you gotta get the wide, medium, and then close. Depending on what the scene's like. So, yeah, I think those are the two important things.
I think the creative journey is always something to reflect on, and you've definitely been through a very, very long journey. So it's awesome to see that.
I think I should be more emotional, but my head's more factual at the moment now, so I don't know if I'm actually going to cry.
No, that's good.
Maybe at the end.
Right. All of a sudden, it just hits you.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, it's like I said in the beginning. I mean, it's everything I said at the beginning of this stream. I mean, that's what happened. That's what I went through. With it, with the good, the bad, the effort, and literally many homes. Like when I did the Sylvaris character introduction, which is season 0 on the playlist there on Tales of Valhalla YouTube.
Right.
I animated and voiceovered that house sitting. Actually, it was apartment sitting at a friend's house in Michigan. I just brought everything with me.
Oh wow!
And okay. I did that. I think in like a day and a half. And I did all the voiceovers. I did Krug, I did Sylvaris, and that's how I realized, okay, I can do Sylvaris. Not going to do it now because kids are sleeping and that voice is too high pitched right now. This scene, this is one of the first scenes that I had thought up of, like this whole conflict between Lieutenant Dan Taylor and Karak was always going to happen this way.
Right.
The backflip was something that I didn't really. I mean, I didn't have it set in stone until a little bit later, but that's like it worked. I mean, because I was thinking, can I make this work? And when I animated it, I mean, again, this was another shot that I did about 6 or 8 different angles, and I just picked the 2 that worked best.
No, I do have to say the visual effects are very impressive. I imagine that took its own bulk of work.
With like the elementals being in the same space as the miniatures, it's
the magic. Yeah, well, just the magic effects. And
that too. Yeah,
there's a lot of energy sparks and things like that happening, which is really, really neat.
Thank you to Triune Store for all these things that went with it film well. Yes.
It looks pretty sharp.
All the effects, yep.
Yeah. It's awesome to see this all animated out because, of course, Heroscape has always been that series of like, I think we talked about it. I remember talking about it with Joe earlier. The idea of Heroscape is just throwing all this stuff together and watching it all just like play out. Like, it's the nature of everything fighting each other that's always had it's just a very cool thing to visualize. And so this series is very good at capturing that element. So you're like, you got elemental magic, you got World War II, fighters dealing with elemental magic.
Yep.
And then there's elves, a cowboy shows up. I mean, it's Heroscape.
It's Heroscape, baby.
That's the best part of it, I think.
Yep.
Your series introduces people to the absurdity that comes from this franchise because it's so much cool things all hitting each other at the same time. You're like, wow, this is really cool to see.
I mean, I know one example, Kayatsuki, who's usually on the chat. I don't know if he's here tonight, but he might watch this stream later. But I mean, he didn't know about Heroscape until he watched Tales of Valhalla, and then now he's got a collection, and his sons play with him, and his sons love the show. So yeah.
See, here's one thing we have to celebrate Ryan for. He finished the project. It's probably, I mean, out of the creative enterprise of it all, the amount of people that start something and never get to finish it, right? Ryan's finished something. That's like huge.
Yeah, that's the one thing I have to give to Ryan. Like I've talked to so many other film people where they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this, and this, and this, and this,"
and they never,
and they never do anything with it. They're like all talk. But Ryan is the one person I know that is when he says he's gonna do it, you're gonna see it. Like it's gonna happen.
Eventually. Or I'll die trying.
He might be pulling himself out of the casket to get it done, but it's going to get done.
Yeah. No, and that's huge because I mean it is very hard to commit to. This is all self-labor, right? You were self-committed, you were self-motivated, and I mean it wasn't like a company thing. It wasn't like a media thing that you were getting paid for. You did this on your own. this is your product, and it's insane to see how far it's gone.
It's a weird thing. I can't bring it up at the moment, but I used to leave in Reddit. They have like a stop motion Reddit, and so I leave the stuff on here because people do stop motion things. They comment on it. I leave the stuff on. People don't even pay attention to it. It's nuts. But there was one time I posted something, and someone said, like, they kind of critiquing my stuff by saying they like thinking that it's a whole group of people doing it. And so I left the comment saying,
so they
this
didn't
isn't
realize it was
they, this is me. And they started talking about everything, all the intricacies of what I've done, for whatever piece of content I was doing. Yeah.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, that's if anything, if that is something to congratulate yourself for, you did this all by yourself, and that's huge. Because that's a monumental effort. Yeah. I
can't claim all the credit because I couldn't have done it with a lot of people throwing in their voices and everybody's support just from family, friends. It's just Gotta give shout out to doctors and everybody for keeping me alive too.
Oh, you into that?
Yep.
And then the Sven and Chadwick reference, which that's another nod to a very cool Heroscape community event.
Exactly.
Because those comics are well worth the read. I know they came out a while ago, but if you do ever have a chance to swing over to Heroscape,
exactly,
they're absolutely funny.
I've read through them all.
Very, very good.
And I take a little bit of that, that essence of the story into ToV as well. And thank you, Brad, for permission to use these characters so much. That the guy who created that little comic strip. I hope you enjoy this. So, Sean, how about you go first? Final thoughts to you, sir.
Oh gosh, it's been one heck of a ride. The ups, the downs, the hiding in the bathrooms, the Skype calls, reading my lines, forgetting my lines, going on and on and on about
with the script in front of you.
Bad jokes, yes. With the script in front of me, I think it's physically impossible, but somehow I managed to forget my lines while the script's in front of me.
Which made for some good ad libs.
Yeah. Some of the things that we've muttered
have made it into the show, actually.
Well, some things have, yes, and there's stuff that'll never see the light of day unless you guys start subscribing to Patreon now. That's some good blackmail.
Yeah.
We get enough people subscribing to that, and we're gonna probably have to force that one out. Yes. Then you guys get to hear all my horrible mother jokes that I've gone on about for over an hour. Oh, and that's what she said.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it gets bad.
He's not the only one.
That scares me.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
I kind of went off the rails.
Interesting off the rails stuff.
But with that being said, guys, it's been one heck of a ride, and I'm just glad to be a part of the crew. It's an awesome dream, and not always have I seen the dream, but with that, he keeps inspiring me to come back and do it more and more and more and more and more. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. When you catch that energy and you can ride it, that's awesome. So, to you guys.
Cheers. I'll cheers on that.
I feel like I'm kind of cheating a little bit, joining in at the very end of it but it's what I can say is I'm proud and happy for you, Ryan, because I can tell that you put in a lot of effort into this, and I'm really happy for you to see your project come to fruition, and it makes me incredibly proud that I was able to contribute to helping you all complete this project. So congrats to you, sir.
Thank you. Yep. No, honor's all mine for all you guys, helping out. Everybody who's helped out. The honor is all mine. So thank you, sir. All right, Jeremy.
All right. So I've been here for a while. No, like just it's an interesting. How do I say it? I was describing this before in regards to some of the franchises that I've invested my time into, And yeah, Heroscape is a big part of who I am as a person, right? I was talking to Joe about it, and it was like, I encountered the game very early on in my years and played it for many years, and then got super invested in the community literally the last 2 years prior to its discontinuation, and got really involved with the customs group when they first started C3V and all of that. I was writing the character bios for that series and stuff like that. And I remember, so this was at the peak. This was like right upon my return to the United States around 2014, right? Ryan had just posted in the Facebook Discord, hey, I got a project idea I'm working on, and I wanted to see if anyone was interested in helping me out. And I messaged him and I was like, look, well, okay, I didn't say it like that, but I have a very strong hyperfixation with all the story behind Heroscape. Like, Heroscape lore has been one of my favorite things to get into, conversation material and whatnot. And Ryan's project, Ryan's production was the outlet I needed to really invest myself into this thing that I was passionate about, because I was able to consult and I was able to tell him about the lore stuff, and everyone comes after me about the whole Jandar Yandar thing, right? But I have a very good reason for that, and I will stand by it till the end of my days, right? But being able to do that, right, having that opportunity was very, very, just, it was great. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to have done that, be able to contribute the consultations and give you kind of get those lore rundowns, rant to you about lore stuff.
It helped a lot.
I'm pretty sure I talked your ear off.
Oh no, you're fine.
When it came to story elements, like this is why the Valkyrie did this, all this stuff, and seeing you not only use that consultation but then create your own narrative for Heroscape was super cool to get invested into. And I mean, with all the passage of time, like that voice that I got to contribute to Vidar, right, like, I remember that being one of the most exciting moments of my life, that I could tell people, I'm like, I'm a Valkyrie, like, I was so excited about
that's the first time we met too. That was
right, exactly,
that was a little bit before Jose was born.
Right, it was. And so I want to say that about 2017 was when I got to be able to contribute, and being able to see this grow to this point. And we're in the area with new Heroscape being approached by Renegade Game Studios, having me and you work together with Avalon Hill's rendition of it. Me and you work together with the series for so long. It's just, there's a lot of emotion to this, right? Because it's been such a big part of my life. And I thank you, Ryan, for inviting me, primarily because it's just, I'm glad to have had a chance to just have an outlet for my Heroscape obsession. And for those that don't know, Ryan's is the primary anchor for my connection to the community, right? Because it wasn't Heroscape's fault, obviously. Life gets in the way, as it does, and I did step away from playing the game for a while, right? Like I was telling Joe, prior to ScapeCon, the last game I played was 2015, right? So Tales of Valhalla was my way of staying connected with the franchise, even past the point that I wasn't allowed to play. And I'm grateful for that, because, like, I mean, it's still here. It's still part of who I am. You helped keep it a part of who I am. It still gave me that, like, I don't know what the word, permission, I guess it is, just to be excited about it.
Right.
Ability.
Have that space, to be excited about Heroscape, and be like, guys, look, there's a stop motion series about my favorite game. You should check it out. And, I was always being able to talk about that and talk about the concept with other people was just a great thing. So, yeah. TLDR, thank you for all the invitations to your show, and being able to participate in all of this, and be able to contribute the way I was able to. I got my T-shirt. It's a little smaller than it should be. That's my own.
Yeah, I know. At the time you were thinner.
I was thinner. I was thinner back in the day. But I gotta get another size. But yeah, no, I am very proud to be able to wear this and know that I was able to help out in my way, in my lore brain way. So I'm drinking just to give to the audience, right? I'm imbibing from a Indian sourced vodka, right? So in India they say Akshaya, which is the cheer of good fortune, It is to basically bless new ventures and, you know, opportunities for the future. So I say to you, Ryan, and to all the staff and everyone of Tales of Valhalla, Akshaya, and may we see the future of Heroscape.
Jason, go ahead. Out of everybody that well, with the exception of family, you're the one that I mean, we've known each other the longest. It's been a while.
21 years now?
Yeah, and Jason is the one who introduced me to, I've said this before, but Jason is the one who introduced me to Heroscape. He introduced me to podcasting. So if you want to thank anybody for how this all started, I point to that guy.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh, you're welcome, I guess.
Thank you, bro.
But yeah, go ahead, Jason. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see some big, massive project like this come to conclusion in a fun way. I mean, like you were talking earlier, a lot of people start these crazy projects or even just say we're going to do them, and you never get anywhere near the finish. So it is really special just to finish a big project. That in itself is just an accomplishment. And then I got a few fun little stories here to talk about during the times when I was doing some of the voiceovers.
Right.
I don't know if because one thing I think originally, because how I ended up being Nigat Saw's voice. Yeah, I can't remember all my. Because originally I was trying to record voiceover or basically animal noises for the Dumatef Guard, I believed. And I was doing a terrible job at that. And somehow on the spot, it came over that demonic language that Nigat has, and you're like, okay, I want you to do this guy now. And I basically had to make up this fake language on the spot for all his various scenes, add a little bit of inflection to him and a little bit of just, you know, emotion to what he was saying, try to convey like there's actually some intelligent ideas behind it. And when it's really about 17 different syllables crammed together in about just different random ways. And so the other thing, then we move on to Knut Gerndt. I'm pretty sure the thing is, I'm a terrible actor. Gerndt. Yeah, okay, I can never pronounce his names right.
Drinko?
Yes. I have to figure out one line where I say my name, like say the character's name. It took me like probably 50 times to get it right.
And you kept on getting light foley wrong too.
Yeah, it's like all the light foley. The reason I call that Foley is a term in video production for types of sound recording. I get that, and I get that in my head instead of light Foley or whatever it is. But I'm a terrible actor. I can't really play other characters. I can only be myself. So I know you wrote Gerndt, or however his name is pronounced, is basically just a slightly amped up version of me in real life. So it's like, I could do this. I know. It's a little bit of me, a little bit of Lewis Black, minus the swear words, and I think you got something that kind of works pretty well. And the one thing I think that drove you crazy about when I was doing the voiceovers, I'm very animated when I talk, and I would do that during the voiceovers. So I'd even move my head away from the microphone a few inches, or sometimes I jump something with my hands trying to do the animations of what the guy was talking about. Yeah. And Ryan's like, just stand there and say the lines, don't move.
I need emotion, but don't move the room.
Like, I can't.
That's like Family Guy.
But it's good times. It was all good times.
Because everyone's talking about like the end. It's the end. It's the end. I am gonna make sure Ryan doesn't finish because I want to know more about what's gonna happen. So I am not gonna let him stop. So even if it goes to crowdfunding, which I'm sure it will be, I'm gonna make sure everybody knows about it so it doesn't end. So there will be chapter 4 and 5 and 6.
We need to gang up on them.
Let's put it this way: if there's if we meet a crowd, we're gonna do a crowdfunding campaign. I'm pretty positive. Some way or another, we'll figure it out. And depending on what we get, depends on how fast everything comes about. If I get 0, then it's just gonna take a long time to come out. If I get more, then it'll be faster. That's just how it goes. Yeah.
We need to gang up on them and just make sure that it's not the end. It's just the beginning. Yeah. The end of the beginning.
Right. I mean, we still got Renegade stuff coming out, you know, eventually, and then we still have all the Avalon Hill lore we got to work with. So you got plenty of material.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think we're worried about that because I'm sure Ryan's imagination, and I'm sure he's gonna bring on a whole other writers team to help him. So there's gonna be an entire imagination world to work with. That's not the problem.
You have AI to work
Problem
with
is
no way. We've already read an AI story based on it. Oh my gosh.
Let's get Ryan to film videos of all the other planets.
Yeah, I'd rather keep it on Valhalla, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, no, I mean it is the Tales of Valhalla.
Yeah, let someone else do another planet if they want to.
Yeah,
right.
Do origin stories of before they came to Valhalla. That sort of thing. Go ahead, tell the stories of the dragons and tell the story of Mar. Tell the story of wherever Severus came from.
I'll bring popcorn and I'll watch.
Yeah, no, we're all ready. I mean, I have in my head and a little bit in my notepad of my pitch of what the Heroscape movie would look like.
Nice.
Like a live action Heroscape movie. So,
look, if they can do a Barbie movie, they can do a Heroscape movie. It's
okay.
totally
No, that's
totally
not the question.
If they can do a movie based off a Battleship, they can do a Heroscape.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
They did
The Battleship movie was actually okay. I actually liked it. It wasn't
bad. It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad.
See, I think the only scenario is we just would lose control of our vocal cords.
It had Liam Neeson. He had Rihanna. It had actual vets in it.
Yep.
There were aliens.
What more could you ask for,
I don't know what
Hasbro, you got this. We believe in you,
Hasbro. But I have a set of skills, and I will find you, and I will kill you.
He had to the main character had to get approval from Liam Neeson to marry his daughter. That is a challenge but this man destroyed this. Why are we talking about Battleship? I don't know. It's how we got onto these things.
We're about a minute away from
the possibility
episode 10 releasing on YouTube, by the way. It's 11:14, 11:15. It was going to be out there, so.
Good. So we'll wrap up my time.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Continue.
Ryan, thank you so much for doing something as special as this is. And it's been an absolute pleasure that I have met you all together, regardless, only online and in person, because that was a gift.
You got to see some animation too, last I did last summer.
I will never forget that. That was a gift. So I thank you for that. Learning from a master of you, understanding more film aspects as being a film connoisseur I am. So it's awesome to learn more. I love learning more about film, and obviously stop motion is something that I don't particularly do as often or at all. So
it's very
understanding and learning. Oh no, I know. Oh, I know that. Yeah. But speaking of time, I'll yield.
First thing I'm going to say, and this was in the credits, but I'm going to expand on it a little bit. For those of you who don't know, for about 30 years of my life, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And some people might be able to manage that illness well. It is an incurable illness. You have it with you the rest of your life. For me, from the very beginning, it's been a life-threatening situation. Even at when I was 11 years old, I've had a lot of rough patches, and especially in the last 10 years. So it's been a very severe illness for me, and it was even a few points where a couple years ago, when I was going through the last surgery I had, to where I had to remove a good portion of intestine and have a permanent ostomy put in. I had to basically, on a dead man switch, leave behind a video that I'm thankful that no one will ever get to watch, because it was basically saying, if you're seeing this, I can't finish this. Please do all you can to finish it. Because I knew there were some people out there who, if it was possible, they would find a way to do it. I'm just thankful that I am still here and I was able to finish this. But here's what I want to say with this. I represent, outside of the Heroscape community, a community of people who go through constant pain. Really, just constant pain, whether it's socially, whether it's just personally, physically. They go through a lot, and it's really it's an invisible illness because you can't really see it. Only the person that's dealing with it deals with its effects, and it's very degenerative, and majority of this community of people with Crohn's, colitis, whatever, especially severe cases, they lose hope. They lose hope. I know. I was like it very early in my life. My adolescence was not fun. It was not fun, and it took a lot of good people to pull me out of that. A lot of prayer, a lot of help. But for the people out there who are suffering, for that community, I dedicate this entire series to. This entire effort was for them. I mean, one of the majority reasons I did this was because I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to do something, and I couldn't get out of my home. So I'm like, okay, if I can't get to a film set, I'm going to bring the film set to me. And so people within this group of people can see someone and understand that even if you are rolled up in a ball of pain, and I guarantee, I mean, there were many times I was, there's something you can do. It doesn't have to be this crazy. But I know, because I see it in so many cases, that sometimes survivability of an illness depends on someone not focusing on it, to have something to carry them forward, something to give them a reason to keep on going. I have lots of reasons. I got my family, I got friends, and I got this. Find your arena, and this is for anybody. It doesn't matter what conflict you have in your life. Find your arena and play your game in wherever you are in your life. It might be a simple thing. It might be something that is impossible. I know, like, coming into animating season 2 and thinking that season 2 and 3 was going to be a 2 to 3 year project. It took almost 8 years. I realized, I just thought, what have I gotten myself into? This is going to take a while. But I didn't focus on the end. I didn't really focus too much on the end product. I was just focusing on the next picture. I was focusing on the next day, the next minute, the next second, and I just kept on going. That one step at a time mentality, and that's what got me through. That's, as you guys were saying, I mean, I'm the type of person, yes, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to finish it or die trying, and that was really what I did. But it took focusing on just the next thing, not what's miles or years ahead, and not even really knowing how I was going to do everything, how I was going to get, because there were people across the country. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get to them for voiceovers, but I'm going to, I'll figure out a way. And this is why, one of the reasons why my faith is so important to me. Like people in the past, I'm here in the United States. The founders of this country, when they were facing more terrible odds than any of us are facing today, against tyranny, their unifying stance was a trusting in providence. That's their name for it. For them, it's providence. For me, it's God. And it's one of the things that just trusting in something that's stronger than yourself, that gives you strength. That's what I do in that. But yeah, this is my arena. This is what I chose to do. All these voice actors, the people who helped me to maintain the series, they're not professional voice actors. They're my friends. They're my family. And some friends are like family. They put as much time, care, and talent as they were able. And I'm very grateful for that. I did this during my limited free time, sleep time. A lot of nights were spent animating instead of sleeping. And a lot of those nights when I was animating through the night, and this is another thing, if you feel like you're pushing yourself, if you're not losing sleep, you're not pushing yourself. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. I think I had a good reason, because I mean, I was in so much pain that sleep was impossible, so I just kept on going forward no matter what anyway. One more thing. Now, when I close, and I'm about to close the stream, and how I usually close it, what's my line? You have a purpose in your life, find it, pursue it, live it. I came up with that after the last surgery I had a couple of years ago. Because I was thinking, everybody has a closing tagline. Joe, what's yours? Joe.
I think he fell asleep.
Did he fall asleep? Probably.
Sorry, I muted my mic, so because I was having some Pez. No, well, mine's not anything spiritual though. Mine's just I'm not crazy. I'm Joe crazy.
Yeah,
just a way to market myself to memorize.
So iconic, yeah.
Still, and I mean, Sean, you have yours.
Be good or be good at it.
Right. And so I was just thinking, I need something, but I wanted something, to be just a little bit more inspirational, just to give people, just to be like, to maybe give it like, huh? What? I hope so. So a little bit of backstory on that. I mean, for me, purpose is very important to discover your purpose, your drive. And when I was in that hospital for like a month, and I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I think I survived it. I'm just like, okay, I'm still going. I think I really need to hit this home when it comes to doing these live streams. So that's how it came about. And Origins was all about like, not more so identity, but coming into your own. What are you supposed to be? I mean, my name is Ryan. That's the name I was given when I was born. But what is your true name? What is what is the embodiment of the things that you were gifted with when you were born? What creates you? It could be your name, but it also could be something else. And I always get in my own head, I was giving myself a long time ago, gave myself the name Storyteller. It doesn't really ring totally true, but that's just what I've always had in my head. But I was always looking for something simpler, and it took me 40 years of my life, and didn't realize it at the time, but it happened during ScapeCon, and where someone called me something, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago when I was thinking about it, I'm just like, there it is. That's the name. That's what's going to carry me forward. And it was just right in front of me nearly the whole time, these past 10 years. So going back to ScapeCon last year, I was in the main tournament room, and someone was calling me, I think, for a prize or something. I think it was Ryan. I think he was one of the guys helping like organize or overseeing the events.
You mean Vidar?
Is it Vidar? Okay.
I think it was Vidar 43. I think it is.
Okay.
That's the only Ryan that I know.
Okay. So. Well, if it's him, credit to him for doing this. But he was calling me from across the hall. I'm just like, I don't understand what he was saying, and he's like, because it was something I just never heard before. He's like, "Hey, Tails." I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, that's kind of new, I mean, it's part, Tales of Valhalla. You didn't want to say the whole thing, understandably. But I was thinking of it a few years ago, like, because I was always trying to find something synonymous to storyteller that was a little bit was a little bit different. And then it just hit me when I was thinking about what Ryan called me last summer. I'm like, there you go. That's it. That's it. I think for those of you out there, if you really want to and this journey, I mean, finding a name or finding something that, really drives you forward to the future, it takes time. I mean, it takes a lot of thought. It's not going to happen overnight. It could, but usually it's not. But for me, I just want to introduce myself to everybody for the future. This is my name. My name is Tales. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it. If not tomorrow, we'll see you Sunday for a final ToV podcast until August 20th. Thank you guys so much. It's been an amazing ride. Thank you guys for joining me on the paddle. Corey, Jason, Joe, Jeremy, Sean here. Everybody who has helped out, everybody who's supported. I'm very, very grateful. I thank you. Until next time, later. All right, let me bring this up. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was a long talk.
Tails! I was not expecting you to say Tails.
Huh?
Oh my god.
You laughing at his new name or something?
Yeah, the name Tails. Are you changing your name to Tails now?
No, I'm not. I'm not legally changing it. That's just
platform name.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Because storyteller's just too long.
Oh, I was going to tell you, Gallagher. I've adopted you already into my clan. Gal meaning is like foreign or domestic. Gur meaning help or support. Adopted.
Yeah. Oh. And this is the guy who introduced me to my wife, so he's been a long time brother.
Gorge.
All right.
Well done, Ryan. Well done.
Yeah. Congratulations, sir.
Hello everybody, thank you very much for watching the edited down version of what was a total 2.5 hour stream. If you want to watch the full version of that stream, go to our Conductor Productions YouTube page, which should be in the screen in front of you or a link in the description below. But with that, I thank you all for watching. Journey completed, and I think another one is going to be starting very soon. But stay tuned, we'll see. You have a purpose in your life, find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time.